Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about things that you need if you are planning to breastfeed, if you're pregnant, if this is your first time being a mom, or maybe the first time around you didn't breastfeed your baby and you're thinking for your other baby you want to breastfeed, but you are nervous, you don't really know what to expect. Well, I am here to help, and I'm gonna let you guys know everything that you will need as a breastfeeding mom. But before we begin, if this is your first time watching my channel and you are not subscribed, make sure that you click that subscribe button right now. It is free. And also don't forget to click that notification bell so that way YouTube will notify you every time I post a new video. And just so you know, I do post 3 to 5 days a week, so I would love to have you. Why not join me? And without further ado, let's get right into it. Number one thing that I do recommend that you get if you are thinking of breastfeeding your baby is get a breast pump. The one that I recommend is the one that I still have. I don't use it right now, honestly, because I don't feel like I need to breast pump. In the beginning, I did. My baby right now is 1.5, and yes, I'm still breastfeeding my baby. But when I barely started, I actually got the Medela breast pump. I'm gonna insert a picture right here, and I'm also gonna leave a link down below if you guys are looking for a really good breast pump. It is about, I believe, I don't remember, I think it was $200 or $300. But trust me, it is worth it. It's the only brand that I use and trust for my girls. My oldest daughter is 15 and my baby right now is 1.5. Let me tell you, it makes a big difference. When you're barely starting out to breastfeed, you do need a breast pump to help you out and to help you increase your milk supply. Because when you barely start out, you might feel discouraged and you might get the urge to give your baby formula because what you are producing doesn't look like a lot. And trust me, when you barely start breastfeeding, breast pumping, I mean, you will barely get like a few drops. When I was in the hospital and I was barely breast pumping, I think I got like I don't even know. I think it was like 5 drops. It ended up being like a big drop, but it wasn't really that big. When I was holding, I was like, what the heck is this? This is like nothing. How is my baby gonna be fed by this? This is crazy. And the lady showed me a chart of, hopefully if I can find it, I'm gonna put a chart up here so that way you guys can see what I mean. But she gave me a chart that when a baby's newborn, they actually don't require a lot of milk. You might think they do, and probably in our heads we're like, they need at least 2 ounces. If they're not having it, that's starving our baby. But you know what? Our body knows what it needs to do to produce it. Just be patient and trust the process. This is your first time breastfeeding. Just don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't think like, oh, I only had some drops of milk. This is not enough for my baby. I give up. I can't do it. Something's wrong with my body. It's not. Trust me. It's part of the process. And as days go by, you will see you're going to produce more and more. And I'm going to tell you this. It is exhausting. It really is. Because after every time my baby would breastfeed, I would always pump. So that way it was a way of telling my body to produce more milk. And it was exhausting, guys, especially doing that in the middle of the night when my baby is asleep and I have to breast pump for about 20 to 30 minutes. So I would usually do it in the beginning, it was 30 minutes, then I slowed it down to 20. It is tough when you have to sit there for about 20 to 30 minutes breastfeeding. I mean, obviously I had my phone on because I feel like I would go insane if I didn't put my focus on something else and just sit there in the dark. One thing that I recommend so that way your arms don't get sore is buy the bra. I'm gonna try to find it and link it down below. It's basically a bra that you put your breast pump inside. So basically there's 2 parts of the breast pump on top. So there's the one is like the suction one that it attaches right here, and then the one that you attach it, like the long part, it looks like a tunnel. I don't even know if I'm describing it right. Hopefully you guys know what I mean. But basically it's a bra and it has 2 holes right here in the middle, and you basically put the cup inside, the suction cup inside right here inside the bra, and then you put the one outside, you attach it, and you can basically breast pump hands free, so that way your hands don't get sore. And that I had to learn from breast pumping the first time with my oldest daughter, because the first time I did that, I always held it like this for literally 20 to 30 minutes, and I thought something was wrong with my hands because they started getting stiff, and I would feel that tingling sensation, and it felt like half numb, and it was freaking me out. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, my hands can't handle this constantly holding it. So My oldest sister told me about it because she's like a breastfeeding queen. She knows all about that. She breastfed her kids for 3 years, and she was the one that really encouraged me. And that's another thing too. Another tip, guys, is make sure you surround yourself with women that have experience. There's people that you can follow on Facebook or Instagram that can help you out and give you advice and encouragement. They also have like mommy groups where you can talk to other moms that are breastfeeding, and it really does help out when you have a community of moms that work together and they help each other out. For me, honestly, my help was my sister. She was a big encouragement to me to breastfeed because I did want to breastfeed my baby, but I was terrified. And here's another thing, guys. One thing that I do recommend that you get is nipple pads. Now, you can choose to get the disposable nipple pads or the reusable. For me personally, I do recommend the ones that are disposable just because when I started breast pumping more and more, I started producing so much milk that the reusable breast pads end up always leaking through. So the ones that were disposable, I noticed it holds in a lot more. So even though it was like big, guys, whenever I used to take those pads out, I'm not trying to be gross, but I'm being real with you. The pads were thick and they had some weight to it, so I would have to throw it out. So that happens when you start to breast pump and breastfeed. You will produce a lot of milk, and it will go to the point where you will have leakage. If you don't use breast pads, I'm telling you, you really need that. That's helped me out a lot. If I wouldn't use it, guys, going to church and not having breast pads, it would not be good. There was one time this happened to me, and I don't even know why I did not have my breast pads on. Guys, I had a shirt similar like this where it was like colorful so you can see if it's wet or not. And I literally had 2 huge spots like this, circular, that was wet. And I didn't even notice until, I don't know what I did, that I moved my hands and I felt it. And I was like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. So I had to run in there, and thank God I had another top to put on. And that's another thing that I do recommend, because sometimes accidents still do happen, is have a extra top with you just in case. I mean, you never know. When you breastfeed, you sometimes will have more leakage than you expect to have. And I know every mom is different. Some women produce more than others. Another thing that I recommend are storage bags, like milk storage bags. And they sell these pretty much everywhere. And they're basically to store your milk. If you are planning to go back to work and you want to still breastfeed, I do recommend having milk storage bags because it does store your milk. They are freezer safe, so you can freeze your milk. And whenever you freeze your milk, they can last for up to 6 months, which is pretty awesome. That's the cool thing about freezing it. You can thaw it out the morning of and have it ready for your baby whenever you have to go to work. And yes, guys, if you're a working mom, props to you, because that is tough. And I did not have to work or go back to work with my baby, so I cannot say. But if you do, trust me, you can do it. And even if you don't, it's good to have those, store it, so that way you can also give your baby extra milk, just to make sure, at least for your peace of mind, knowing that you're giving your baby enough milk. Because that was my number one worry, my baby not getting enough milk. So knowing that I'm breast pumping and also giving it to my baby, it really gave me a peace of mind. Another tip I can give you guys is make sure that you give your baby, if you want your baby to be using a bottle as well and drinking your breast milk, make sure that you alternate that. Give your baby your breast milk where they can feed off of your breast, and also give your baby the bottle, because the mistake I made the first time is that I didn't give my baby the bottle that often. I just had the extra milk stored in the freezer just in case. And when I did need that milk for her to drink from the bottle, she would not drink from the bottle. Because with breastfeeding babies, they get really used to having their breast milk and feeding from your breast, that if you do not alternate that, they will not want that bottle, and they won't take it for nothing. They could be screaming, they won't take it. And it's very discouraging knowing that you have so much milk stored and they can't even have any of it. You basically just have to always use your breast to feed your baby. So that has helped me a lot with my baby right now, because she did take the bottle when I gave her the breast milk. And if I wouldn't have done that, she wouldn't have taken it, and that would just be wasted milk. You know what I mean? The other one that I do recommend you get are nursing bras. I got my nursing bras on Amazon. It came in a 4-pack for, I think, like, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Either it was $20 or $30, but you get 4 of them. They're really great. They work awesome. And yes, I still have them on. I still use them because I'm still breastfeeding. So it's really cool because it has this clip right here. So it clips like this. So when you want to breastfeed your baby, all you got to do is unclip this, pull it down, and it's ready for your baby to breastfeed. And when you're done breastfeeding, you just clip it back, and that's it. So like I said, I'm still using my nursing bras because I'm still breastfeeding my baby. So I do recommend nursing bras. Don't use regular bras, and do not use wire bras, because those actually, I've heard, I don't know because I haven't experienced it, but I've heard that wire bras actually decrease your milk supply. What I do recommend is having at least 8, because you are gonna go through a lot of bras. Trust me, you're gonna go through a lot of nursing bras, a lot of milk that overflows. Even with the pads, there's times that it still goes through, and you want to have that ready. And sometimes I had to do it like twice, 3 times in one day to change my bra. That's just the reality of breastfeeding. Another thing is the obvious, is that if you're planning on breast pumping, make sure that you have bottles with you. And another thing too that I do recommend, I don't hear a lot of women say this, and I know maybe some women are against this, but I personally recommend it from my experience, is get your baby used to using the pacifier. Not so much, but sometimes, because I've noticed that with my first baby, I didn't let her use the pacifier at all. She never got a pacifier, so she never wanted to use a pacifier. The thing about that is, there's times where my baby, as she got older and she was eating solid food, there was times where she just wanted to breastfeed and she wanted to use me as a pacifier. She didn't really want to breastfeed. It was just like a comfort thing. And I don't mind that, because I personally love breastfeeding, and I love the bond that I feel with my baby breastfeeding. But there was times where I noticed that she was just there. She wasn't really drinking it, wasn't really breastfeeding. She was just holding on to my nipple as a comfort thing. It was just there. And let me tell you, there's times where she would just stay like that. And even when she fell asleep, when I try to get her off, she would get latched back on, and she would literally be stuck on my boob for about 30, 40 extra minutes, and she wasn't even breastfeeding. And if I try to take it away, she would scream, she would wake up. So the one thing I do recommend is, give your baby a pacifier every once in a while. So that way your baby kind of knows the difference, that this is not food, this is just something that I want to chew on. You know what I mean? Another thing too is you want to have an insulated bag. So if you're breast pumping, if you're planning on breast pumping, which I do recommend if you're breastfeeding, make sure you have an insulated bag, so that way whenever you are breast pumping and you're out and about, that you have a bag that you can put your milk in, and it will keep it cold for at least a while. You don't want to just put it in a regular bag, and let's say on a hot day, your milk is going to get bad, because breast milk lasts for about up to 2 hours when it's not in the fridge, and I believe up to 2 or 3 days in the fridge. But in the freezer, obviously it lasts longer. But when you're out about, you do need an insulated bag to keep your milk fresh until you get home, and you can put it in the fridge or in the freezer. So that's another one that I think is really important. One last thing that I want to add is, don't give up. My personal experience with breastfeeding, I'm going to keep it real with you. In the beginning, it was rough. And many times I just wanted to quit. I was crying my eyes out. But in the beginning, it's really hard. For, I would say, the first month, it was tough. My baby was breastfeeding, and there was times where the way she was breastfeeding, she wasn't latched on right. And it would literally make my nipples raw. It was raw and bleeding. It was painful, guys. Trust me, you don't want your boobs to be raw. It's so painful. But oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Here's something that I do recommend. Make sure you get nipple covers. So now they have these nipple covers. They're clear plastic, kind of like silicone, where if your nipples are sore and they're hurting, you put it there, then you give your baby the breast. It does help. Even with my second baby, my nipples went raw. And what I did is I got these nipple covers, I put it on, and then I had my baby breastfeed. Guys, it helped my boobs heal a lot better. It basically is a nipple guard, and it has little holes in between so they're able to get the milk out, but it does help so that way your nipples are not killing you. Because let me tell you, when your nipples are raw, it is so excruciating to feel that pain constantly there. I would literally grind my teeth when my baby would breastfeed. I would literally be like, and I had to hold something because I knew I cannot give up. I have to keep going. And that's something to expect. It happens, but that's one tip I can give you. Use nipple covers. Those has helped me so much, guys. You have no idea. It literally helped me from just quitting, because I really wanted to quit at that point. And I just felt so discouraged. I was literally crying so much because I did not want to quit. I love breastfeeding my baby. Another thing that I do recommend is get some kind of nipple ointment. Use a nipple ointment that if your nipples get raw and sore, always apply it right after your baby is done breastfeeding. Always, always, always apply it right after, because it does help a lot. You don't want to apply it before your baby breastfeeds, because then obviously they're going to taste it. And I know it says supposedly it's tasteless, but still, like, they're going to, in a way, eat that. You know what I mean? So I do recommend putting it on after your baby's done. Always apply it. It does help. It helps heals it fast. You are doing great. You will be doing great. My sister always encouraged me, and that's why I want to encourage you soon to be moms out there, or if you're breastfeeding at the current moment and you're just discouraged, you don't know what to do, don't give up. I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. I want to start doing more mommy related videos, because I never usually do videos like this on my channel, but I thought, you know what, there's so many moms out there, or moms to be, that perhaps need some tips and some encouragement. So I thought of doing this. Let me know if you guys want me to do more videos like this. Please let me know. And I really, really hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you are still not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button right now. And until next time, remember, stay blessed. Bye.